All right, so I guess to get to part two to whatever's going on with me, my insanity, um, my spiritual ascension, whatever you want to call it, all this stuff. Regardless of all these changes, I do feel a lot better with the person I am today than I was previously. Like, even after all the heartbreak and everything, um, I'm better today than, is to say, if I was still in a relationship before in the past. And I really need to remember that sometimes. And I really need to. It's a big part of the healing that now also. Learning to really let go of those times that, I guess that's not the right word to use. Not necessarily let go, but remember that for me to get to this point, I needed the pain, I needed this suffering, I needed all this to happen to me, for all these changes to happen. I mean, for any change to happen, I mean, you have to go through some sort of trial or anything like that. I mean, that's what happened before of my divorce. There was big changes, but nothing necessarily changed about me. And now I had this small little relationship and changed forever all of a sudden. And it's very strange how all that happened. But yeah, I guess I'll go into the next part. And of course I mentioned briefly about how similar uh, me and her were in so many ways. And of course about the whole twin flame stuff, if you care to believe that stuff. But now I'm just more and more convinced that, yeah, that is probably what happened. And yeah, she's probably my twin flame, and I just want to record this whole process going through it and everything I'm trying to do for myself and my own personal healing at the moment. And right now, I think, just recording this, putting it out there, is just a good part for my healing, I think. For the most part, from what I learned, it's just good to just talk about things in general. Talk with other people, and I have, for the most part, I have talked about this with several other people. And even in this like spiritual awakening, or whatever you want to call it, I've been going through, I've like now just magically meeting other people that are going through who have gone through or going through a similar process in really weird timing. There's this woman I've been talking to lately who's just recently going through the same stuff I'm going through at the same exact time, and it's very strange. And just briefly after I kind of awakened, there's this coworker I was talking to that was briefly just saying the whole experience he went through in the past, and just somehow knew just to talk to this guy. And then, oh, yeah, you're going through this and that and this and that. He's like, and I was like, well, it felt like almost like at this exact time, like it was like the perfect timing to like bring this up to him, because I reached like a stage in this kind of awakening period where I felt like growth was getting a little difficult. I And then he taught me this whole new process. But anyway, getting off track. But I should get back to the next steps of my, I guess, spiritual journey, from what I said before, and the whole twin flame part. So, I guess in the twin flame mechanic, I am the chaser, and my heart felt like I had so much energy just coming from here. It was like nothing I've ever felt before. It was just insufferable. It was just some of the worst pain I ever felt. And then this weird obsession. I can't get her out of my mind. It made no sense. Like, where was this with my wife I spent 10 years with? And I'm getting it all of a sudden for someone I just met, spent some time with. It makes no sense. Logically, you would think, oh, I'll get this longing for my wife back and all this stuff. But there was none of that. And I just get it for this person. And the more I look back, it's like, yeah, we're dangerously similar in these many ways. And in some ways, it feels like she was me if certain things happened differently. The scariest thing is like her mother and my mother are like exactly the same, and her mother raised her exactly like in a way like my mother did. And that's the strangest part. And then the more I heard about everything her mother did, it's just stuff that my mother did exactly. And yeah, it's just very strange. But yeah, going back to it, this obsession was just so weird. All I could think about is her all the time. It made me feel sick. Like, and then during that whole time, I'm like, I'm losing my mind. I'm losing my mind. I can't think of anything else except her. It makes no sense at all. And the whole time I'm like just learning more about myself, like slowly and slowly. And eventually, one thing is like learning. This is the big thing I learned. Is like, what is actual unconditional love? And during this whole process of obsession, I finally learned what is real unconditional love. And like for another person, that's like not just like that wasn't like just family. My whole life with these people, my wife, these other women, like I learned what the love I did was, and it's I just call it selfish love. It was just love with this attachment. Yes, it's still love, of course. It's love, but it doesn't come from a true, genuine place of love. It comes from love of you want them. Like, I want you. I selfishly want you. I want to have you. I want you for myself. I want to marry you. I want this. I want that. You know, and then of course, being in a marriage, it's like, oh, yes, I just want to be with you. You give me validation. You make me feel better about myself. It's all this me stuff. All this, like, this feeling of like you love this person for you, and then your whole being is like just attached to this other person completely. And that's what I call selfish love. I don't know if there's an actual term for it, but that's what I had for my wife all these years, and it's what I had for her too, and the woman I was with recently. At first, yes, I just wanted her. I loved her a lot, and I showed her selfish love. Unfortunately, I did not show her what she actually needed. Unfortunately, she knew, and I knew, and her therapist knew that she shouldn't have been in a relationship. And yeah, we started as friends, of course, and I'm just, giving her my attention, my time, all this stuff. But of course, I just fell in love with her, and I wanted her for myself and all this stuff. And of course, it led to our little relationship we had. But of course, the reality is she should have not been in a relationship to begin with. And of course, in my case, I shouldn't have been in a relationship either. Yeah, I was married for 10 years. I'm a very loving, caring person. But the more I look at it, I actually wasn't ready for a relationship, and neither was she. And maybe a lot of people out there aren't really ready for a relationship either. And that's what causes all this unhappiness, I think, among people, and how you can never be happy in a relationship. You always have these nice feelings and stuff, but you just it never fills you. I guess that's the thing. A lot of people enter into a relationship, to fill that void. We all have that emptiness inside us, feel like we need more. We need someone else. We need someone else to feel better about ourselves. And many of us enter a relationship for that reason. And I've learned it's not the way. It's not the reason why you should enter one. But of course, I believe that's what a majority of people do. Loneliness sucks. Loneliness sucks a lot. And it sucks being alone. And many of us don't really know how to be alone. Or eventually, maybe we do learn to be alone. But, yeah. Loneliness can be extremely crushing. And of course, in my case, after this whole scenario, I was desperately just seeking out anything. Just anything I could grab. And yes, I grabbed people. Hell, even my ex-wife for a bit, even though she was on drugs. I was just desperate for anything. I grabbed out to everyone I could, reach out to anyone I could, just to fill the void, just to feel better about myself. This crushing loneliness was just consuming me, and I wanted some distraction from this feeling I've had of losing her, because I was just obsessed in my head thinking about her, and I just need something to just quiet it all. It never got quiet, and I seeked anything to just make myself feel better. Any affection, sex, whatever, all this stuff. It was, it's just what happens. It's just I guess the natural human condition in that way, where after this crushing, rejection, and then of course in my case the complete withdrawal, completely, complete silence from her, it was just overwhelming, and I seeked like anything I could grab, and yes, I got stuff, and then when I got that stuff, that's when things started to click more. I had these things, I had these people, I was getting sex regularly. Oh, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, if I wanted sex, I can have it. Good, great. And then it didn't solve the problem this time. This crushing loneliness, it wasn't solved in this way. I couldn't just quickly grab other people, have sex, all this stuff. It just wasn't going away, this obsession, this feeling, which is very strange. It's like, why? Why do I just have this strong connection to her? I don't understand this. Why aren't these other people good enough anymore? And hell, I'm even getting sex again. What's going on here? I'm having more sex than I had when I was with her. I could get it every day if I wanted to. But it just wasn't doing anything. It wasn't doing anything at all. And slowly I just started to waking up and just realizing that I think something has to change. I felt like something needed to change. And I don't know, I just naturally just started removing these people from my life, realizing I'm just attached to these people or having sex with these people when it wasn't actually fulfilling me or giving me any happiness. And I started to detach from them, realizing they shouldn't be in my life anymore. Something's very wrong here. And so, yeah, they left. I got them away. I realized it wasn't doing anything for me. These temporary fulfillments to me, and yeah, and at the same time, it's hard to explain, but I started to, I don't know, it's weird how it happened, but all of a sudden God felt like it was coming out of nowhere. Because I never prayed or anything like that, but I felt like God was just coming to me or speaking to me in some way or guiding me in some sort of way. I let God kind of slowly enter in me, and then I slowly started to have these changes, get these people out of my life. And I also, I don't know, I started to pray even for just to take away the pain. I wanted to stop obsessing over her. And in some ways, God was saying no, or not yet, or something. It felt like it was so weird. It's like I just wanted peace. I wanted peace. I wanted my brain back. I was just losing it. So yeah, I was losing it. I just wanted peace. So I guess God started to look more comfortable. And I started to surrender slightly that, I don't know, I can't control things. And then somehow just things started working out like better, and I started feeling better. And there was way too much like weird timing of everything. And I felt like in some weird way, like, I can't explain it, but some timing of stuff was just too strange. And it felt like almost like some divine intervention thing was like protecting me from doing things incorrectly in some sort of way, or I'm kind of meant to say or do certain things at a certain time, or how my twin flame, was not supposed to hear certain things at the exact time, and this communication to her was like blocked in some sort of way at that exact time when I was not saying the right thing. That I didn't say all these other things that I wanted to say. And it's just very strange at timing. So, I don't know. Eventually I started to just surrender to the process. I felt like everything's just, I don't know. I started to just feel better naturally. And things just started to improve in my life naturally. And while I'm doing all this, like, unexplained, like, things happen to me. I guess I'll briefly get into it now. Like, normally eating well, getting up early, going to sleep at the right time, and stuff like that takes some discipline. And in my case, it was no discipline at all. I just naturally started eating better, eating less. Like, I only eat like fruits and vegetables, nothing processed anymore. And the weird part is, it's like that want for those things is gone. Like, oh, I really want, like before, man, I could really use a donut right now. It's just gone completely. It's the strangest thing. And then this whole time, I normally stay up late, all the way to 2 a.m. normally. Like, for all these years, I've always been like a late night person. I thought that's just my personality or something. Now I just go to sleep at like 10 p.m. I wake up early in the morning. Something I've never done in my life. It just came like that without me wanting to do any changes. It just happened naturally. And so I guess what I'll get into in the next video is what happened is, like, basically an ego death happened. Everything I knew of myself just died. My old self was just gone completely. Everything I knew about myself just died. My interest in things, my hobbies, my material attachments to things, my desires for certain things, it just vanished out of nowhere. It was like a true ego death. And I guess when this ego death happened, all these changes just started to happen naturally. And it's just very strange. I would have never imagined something like an ego death happened for just a small 5-month relationship with this woman. But yeah, don't want to make this next part of the video. I'll probably cut it for now. But yeah, I guess I'll do a part 3 shortly. But yeah, thanks for watching, and yeah, toodaloo.